Viewer discretion is advised.
The Sixers are owned by too many people to list, as they were bought by a group in 2011 led by investor Joshua Harris. Other minority owners include Will and Jada Pinkett Smith and Kevin Hart. I guess Will and Kevin fully understand that sometimes you have to tank in order to be successful. Oh, hello 76ers. Christ, I can't even remember a time when you were actually good. You had both the answer and Charles Barkley, but only made one finals in which not getting swept was the only bright spot there. The 1972-73 Sixers are the worst team in NBA history with a whopping 9-73 records. I mean, goddamn, 9 wins? That's pathetic. And it appears that trusting the process has been a franchise-long thing that includes drafting perpetually injured players and sucking more than a newborn calf on a milk teat. Dear 76ers fans, Brian Colangelo really got screwed. He did absolutely nothing to get him fired, as he is one of the best GMs in the league and not a sniveling, sensitive little bitch who has gutted not just the 76ers but other teams in his career. You have to understand that the process has worked. I mean, tanking for nearly 6 years to win one playoff series and not have any more high draft picks clearly was worth it. I mean, it wasn't his fault Markelle Fultz can't handle the pressure of the NBA, nor the criticism, as Brian clearly can do both of those. Sign, Brian Colangelo's wife, via Twitter. The Sixers have actually had two 56-point blowouts. The other one occurred to the Kings earlier in the same season. The Sonics didn't even need Gary Payton, who scored only 5 points and didn't have a steal. Eddie Johnson came off the bench and led all scorers with 21. Sixers head coach Doug Moe was fired immediately after this game, but with the current regime, Moe would have been promoted to GM. Franklin the dog. Introduced in 2015 to replace hip-hop, a bunny rabbit that embodied typical rap stereotypes, Franklin was met with immediate controversy as it was discovered that the guy playing the dog didn't even like Philly sports or the city. I get it, bro. Wouldn't be the first time in Philly someone was pretending to be something they are not. A petition was started to get him fired. I don't know whether that happened or not, nor do I care. Opened in 1996, nothing but banks have owned this building, as it was once the Core State Center, First Union Center, Wachovia Center, and now Wells Fargo Center. Though I think the real sponsor of the 76ers should be the U.S. Army with all the tanking going on in that building. Also fitting that Wells Fargo has the naming rights, since both them and the Sixers have such an impeccable reputation. Most people call losing on purpose sucking. Sam Hinkie called it a process, and he was so good at sucking the league basically made him step down as GM. Then they hired Brian Colangelo, who went to the Kevin Durant School of Managing Your Social Media Presence. And what did all that tanking get them? A cute nickname.
To be honest, I don't give a shit about the NBA. I find it to be an individual-based league that has next to no parity with a lot of completely unlikable players. However, the Philadelphia 76ers give me pause. This team has transcended the boundaries of time and space and makes me intrigued. Not in how they'll improve, but how are they going to make me laugh next. The dossier of this franchise's lolcow begins and ends with Sam Hinkie. Hinkie had a rather bold idea of forcing this mediocre squad to completely tank for several seasons, making the team a deliberate joke in order to procure top draft picks and forge a dynasty. This, he called, the process. A perpetual 5-year plan where every single asset that they have will line up like the cosmos and turn the team into a juggernaut overnight. Fuck you, LeBron. Here come the 76ers. Of course, to accomplish this goal, it would require a few key ingredients. First step would be to trade every asset that has a shred of value for future draft picks. It doesn't even matter the position of the pick. They are absolutely sacred and need to be in the hands of Philadelphia. Star players of old, gone. Decent role players, they're gone too. Players that we drafted as part of the process 2 years ago, oh, you better believe they are gone. The planets weren't aligning as early as they imagined, so they traded Michael Carter Williams and KJ McDaniels for some more picks. It's total fucking liquidation. Everything must go. Hinkie would sell off his daughter's virginity if it involved getting back a second-round pick in 2023. It got to the point of being utterly ridiculous. They would have sold off the the bolts in the wall if they could. Sam Hinkie struck me as a man who played way too much out-of-the-park baseball when he was younger. Unfortunately for him, the other managers aren't AI that can be cheesed. They'll just take your assets and laugh at you as they kick your team's ass all over the court. The second piece of the process is to draft a bunch of injured players and Europeans. The idea is that they would all come back and turn the team into one that makes the 80s Lakers into their bitch. Drafting players that help you now? Poppycock, that would ruin the future dynasty. First year, they draft Michael Carter-Williams, a truly safe pick who will surely be the face of the franchise. Second year, they draft an injured center named Nerlens Noel, who will surely be the face of the franchise. The next year, they draft another injured center in Joel Embiid, who will surely be the face of the franchise. Those European players you draft, they'll be so disgusted in the team that they'll refuse to sign with you. It's foolproof. The fourth year, the process begins to come into its own and they draft another fucking center. Is this what you meant, Sam? It doesn't mean shit if you have a bunch of fives that are good if they can't play any other position. Who's going to dish them the ball in the paint? Where is the rest of the team? Do you just play centers and power forwards everywhere? Finally, what you need to do is make your franchise so pathetic and misaligned that the NBA literally steps in and tells you to fuck off. They didn't take kindly to Sam Hinkie making a complete embarrassment of their league, so they strong-armed the Sixers into hiring a lapdog in Jerry Colangelo and forced Sam back to his computer playing NBA 2K. Even with this coup d'etat, his fingerprints of failure are apparent. The 76ers are still garbage, and their first overall pick, Ben Simmons, kept with the spirit of the process by being injured and out for a portion of the season. Hinkie has continued to defend the process as he remains on the unemployment line, and his self-flating diatribe after he resigned is a beautiful testament to the Dunning-Kruger effect. But what did he truly accomplish? Noel, Dario Saric, and Okafor are solid, but aren't the franchise changers that they were hyped to be. Michael Carter-Williams was a victim of the process. Embiid, however, looks promising. So they potentially hit on 1 out of 5. Not good for having tough picks and that all of them can't be on the court at the same damn time. Regardless, he has a swath of dedicated fans that hail the process as a revolutionary managerial tactic. He is a true bronzed god of second-round picks and writes to foreign players who will probably never see an NBA court. Who knows what the future holds for the 76ers, but I know what Sam Hinkie brought to me. Laughter. You made me care about the NBA again, Sam. Trust the process.
Tough year for the 76ers. They were crushed by leprechauns in the bubble and many fuck-ups were made in the past few years. Philly must be revived. Sam Hinkie might be long gone, but it's time to trust the process. Step 1. Hire Daryl Morey. He's got some work to do, thanks, Elton Brand. At least he can get out of that god-awful Horford deal with minimal damage. Step 2. Bring in one of the greatest chokers of our generation, Doc Rivers. Fresh off yet another 3-1 series collapse, this time it's going to be different. We have him beating a dude that can't take jump shots. We have the other Curry. He can't be any worse than Brett Brown was, Jesus Christ. Step 3. Create false hope. James Harden, don't need him. First place in one of the weakest Eastern Conferences in years, time for the fans to develop a new fervor. Let them talk all this shit. It's their game now, motherfuckers. Step 4. Beat a cakewalk team in the first round. All good so far. Triple-double man was no match for Sixer might. Atlanta should be easy pickings. They don't even have a process. Fuck that team. Step 5. Okay. Step 6. Win 2 straight convincingly. Fuck you, NBA! Here come the 76ers! Step 7. Choke in hilarious fashion. Not just once, but with consecutive double-digit leads. Pissing away a 26-point lead at home in the second half. A standard of failure that has only been accomplished by 5 other teams in NBA history. The coach that did nothing but choke in his last stop is choking again? Who the fuck saw that coming? Step 8. Sabotage the lights so Philly can bring the series back home for Game 7. The electricity bricked like Ben Simmons did. Who knows, maybe you aren't dead. Step 9. Help Ben Simmons come out of his shell and develop confidence. Maybe next week he can pee on the newspaper while taking a jump shot. After he chases after waves of Instagram models, perhaps he can chase his potential. In a bit of time, he'll be off to, China or New Orleans or Antarctica or wherever. Step 10. Officially kill off the process started almost a decade ago with a crushing defeat at home against a team you were favored to beat in a series handily. When the other Curry is your best scorer, you're in trouble. Your souls were extracted by Trae Young and a fucking ginger. Every opportunity was given to them to advance, yet they embraced Doc's tactics of blowing big situations.
How the fuck did you choke all those games, Philly? Fucking how?
You thought hiring the NBA's Mike McCarthy was going to save you? Really? You are pathetic.